I had it all planned out. After dating Melissa for 3 years, I was finally going to propose on Christmas Eve at my parents' house with my entire family present. It seemed perfect, festive atmosphere, loved ones gathered around, the romance of the holiday season. My mom had prepared her famous roast beef dinner. My dad had broken out the expensive wine he'd been saving. My sister had flown in from Seattle with her husband and kids. Even my grandmother, who rarely leaves her retirement community these days, made the hour-long drive to be there. 15 people in total, all gathered around the dining table that barely fit in my parents' modest home. The ring had been burning a hole in my pocket all evening. I'd spent 3 months' salary on it. A princess-cut diamond on a white gold band that Melissa had once admired in a jewelry store window. I'd rehearsed my speech dozens of times, practiced getting down on one knee without wobbling, and timed the whole thing to happen right after dessert when everyone would be in good spirits. The dinner was perfect. Melissa seemed happy, chatting with my family and complimenting my mom's cooking. She looked beautiful in the red dress she'd bought specially for the occasion. I kept checking my pocket, making sure the ring box was still there, my heart racing every time I thought about what I was about to do. After my mom served her famous chocolate mousse and everyone was sighing with contentment, I knew it was time. I clinked my glass with a spoon to get everyone's attention. The room fell silent. All eyes turned to me. "I have something I'd like to say," I began, my voice surprisingly steady despite my nerves. "Melissa, these past 3 years have been the happiest of my life." I saw her expression change, a flicker of something I couldn't quite read passed across her face. But I was too far into my speech to stop now. "You've brought joy, laughter, and love into my life in ways I never thought possible. I can't imagine my future without you in it." I got down on one knee beside her chair, pulling the small velvet box from my pocket. My aunt gasped. My little niece started bouncing excitedly in her seat. "Melissa Jenkins, would you do me the extraordinary honor of becoming my wife?" I opened the box, revealing the ring that had cost me so much. The diamond caught the light from the chandelier above, sparkling brilliantly. I looked up at her, expecting to see tears of joy. Instead, her face had gone completely pale. The silence stretched for what felt like an eternity. Then, barely above a whisper, she said, "I can't. I'm sorry, but no." The room went so quiet you could hear the grandfather clock ticking in the hallway. My grandmother's fork clattered against her dessert plate, the sound jarringly loud in the silence. "What?" I managed to say, still kneeling, the open ring box trembling slightly in my hand. "I can't marry you," she repeated, louder this time. "I'm so sorry. I can't do this." And then, as my entire family watched in stunned silence, Melissa pushed back her chair, grabbed her purse, and walked out of the dining room. The front door closed with a gentle click that somehow felt more devastating than if she had slammed it. For several seconds, nobody moved. Nobody spoke. I remained frozen on one knee, ring box still open in my hand, staring at the empty chair where Melissa had been sitting moments before. My sister was the first to break the silence. "Oh my God, Jake. I'm so sorry." That seemed to snap everyone out of their shock. Suddenly, I was surrounded by family members, all talking at once. My mom had tears in her eyes. My dad looked like he wanted to punch something. My niece was asking loudly why the pretty lady had left. I closed the ring box with a snap and stood up, my legs numb. "I need some air," I managed to say, and walked out to the back porch. The December night was frigid, but I barely felt it. My phone buzzed in my pocket. A text from Melissa. "I'm so sorry. Please don't follow me. I need time." I don't remember much of the next few hours. My family tried their best to comfort me. But what do you say to someone whose heart just got shattered in front of 15 witnesses? My aunt suggested Melissa had commitment issues. My brother-in-law awkwardly patted my shoulder and offered me whiskey. My grandmother, never one to mince words, declared that Melissa wasn't good enough for our Jake anyway. Around midnight, most of the family had gone to bed, leaving just me and my sister Kate sitting in the living room. The Christmas tree lights blinked silently in the corner, mocking what was supposed to be the happiest night of my life. "Do you have any idea why she said no?" Kate asked gently. "Were there signs?" I shook my head, then stopped. Had there been signs? Melissa had been more distant lately, working late more often, being vague about her plans, checking her phone constantly. I'd attributed it all to holiday stress and year-end work deadlines. Now, in retrospect, a sickening feeling began to grow in my stomach. "I need to see her," I said suddenly, standing up. "I need to know why." Kate looked alarmed. "Jake, it's midnight on Christmas Eve. She asked for time. Maybe you should wait until morning." But I couldn't wait. I needed answers. I drove to our apartment in a daze, barely registering the empty streets decorated with holiday lights. When I arrived, Melissa's car wasn't in its usual spot. I figured she might have gone to her friend Sarah's place. She always stayed there when we had disagreements. I let myself into our apartment, immediately noticing how quiet it felt. I walked to the bedroom, planning to change out of my dress clothes, when I noticed the closet door was open. Half of Melissa's clothes were missing. Her suitcase was gone too. This wasn't just about rejecting my proposal. She was leaving me. I sat on the edge of the bed, trying to process what was happening. That's when I spotted her laptop on the nightstand. She must have forgotten it in her rush to pack. I shouldn't have opened it. I should have respected her privacy. But I was desperate for answers. The screen lit up to her email, already logged in. And there it was, dozens of exchanges with a name I recognized. David Mercer, her boss. The emails went back months. The most recent was from just 3 days ago. I can't keep living this lie. I love you. After the holidays, I'll tell Jake everything. My world collapsed for the second time that night. I wasn't just rejected. I was betrayed. I didn't sleep that night. How could I? I read every email between Melissa and David, each one more painful than the last. Their affair had been going on for 7 months. 7 months of lies, of me living in blissful ignorance while planning our future together. There were hotel receipts, intimate photos, plans for weekend getaways disguised as business trips. David was married with 2 children. The betrayal was doubly cruel. By morning, my shock had hardened into something colder. I copied the emails to my phone, then left the laptop exactly where I'd found it. I drove back to my parents' house just as the sun was rising, casting a pale glow over the snow-covered streets. My family tiptoed around me during Christmas morning, their forced cheerfulness more painful than silence would have been. I went through the motions of opening gifts, forcing smiles, pretending I wasn't completely shattered inside. My phone remained silent. No more messages from Melissa. It was during Christmas dinner when my phone finally buzzed. Not Melissa, but a text from an unknown number. This is David Mercer. We need to talk about Melissa. I excused myself and stepped outside. My hands shook as I called the number. Jake, he said when he answered. I'm sorry about what happened. Are you? I asked, my voice surprisingly calm. Because from the emails I've read, you two had this all planned out. A sharp intake of breath. She told you. No, she left her laptop. I know everything, David. I know about your wife and kids too. Does Carrie know you've been screwing my girlfriend for 7 months? Silence. Then, it's complicated. Melissa and I. Save it. I cut him off. Just tell me one thing. Was she ever going to tell me herself? Or was the plan always to humiliate me in front of my entire family? David sighed heavily. The proposal wasn't supposed to happen. She was going to break things off with you after Christmas, privately. She panicked when you proposed. How considerate of her, I said bitterly. Where is she now? At my place, he admitted. Carrie took the kids to her parents for the holidays. The final piece fell into place. So your wife doesn't know either. You were both going to wait until after the holidays to blow up everyone's lives. How festive. I hung up without waiting for his response and went back inside. My family knew immediately something had changed. I told them everything. The room erupted. Outrage, shock, offers to teach that bastard a lesson from my cousins. But surprisingly, I felt calmer than I had since the proposal. 2 days later, I received a long email from Melissa, full of apologies and explanations. She claimed she'd never meant to hurt me, that she'd been unhappy for a long time but couldn't bring herself to end things. That she and David had connected on a level she'd never experienced before. That classic line, "It's not you, it's me." I didn't respond. Instead, I forwarded her email, along with the entire chain of correspondence between her and David, to David's wife Carrie, with a simple note. I thought you deserved to know. Was it petty? Maybe. Vindictive? Definitely. But as the saying goes, sunlight is the best disinfectant. 3 months have passed since that disastrous Christmas Eve. I've moved to a new apartment, started therapy, reconnected with old friends. I heard through mutual acquaintances that David's wife filed for divorce, and Melissa moved back to her hometown. Apparently, their grand love affair crumbled pretty quickly under the weight of reality. As for me, I'm taking it day by day. Sometimes I still catch myself reaching for my phone to text her when something funny happens. Sometimes I wake up in the middle of the night, the rejection playing on repeat in my mind. But mostly, I'm grateful. Grateful that I discovered the truth before I said, I do, to someone who could lie so effortlessly for so long. Sometimes the worst moments of our lives turn out to be blessings in disguise.